So hello everyone. So today I will present CLAP. CLAP. So what is CLAP? It's a library written in Pharo for implementing command line applications. It was first written by Damien Paulet, and I updated it a bit to use in another project. I will tell him. So basically, it's you can use it if you want to run some Pharo application from the command line. For example, the classical hello world, you could do hello ESUG directly from the command line. So this command is quite easy, but let's see. What are we talking about for a command line? We could have a hello command. That it's already very easy. But this command takes some additional arguments, and they could be of different kinds. So here, with hello ESUG, we have the command, and after we have an argument that we call the positional. Okay, fine. To this command, we could add some flags, classical flags. If your system is a Unix-like, you are already used to that. So flags, positional. And you can have a mix of that. So for example, here, if you want to repeat 42 times hello ESUG, you have an option that is a flag, but it's a special flag. You have a flag with a positional inside. So if you want the whole map, a command could have flags, positionals, flag with positionals. But that's not all. Let's take another command, git. So git is a command. After, you can specify the directory where it should work. So here it's yet another flag with a positional. And after you have subcommands. So remote is a subcommand of the git command. Again, you have another subcommand. So add is a subcommand of the remote command. And after you have a first positional, that is the name of the remote. And at the end, git at mygitserver.com is another positional. So you see, you could have kind of not complex, but a lot of different options. That's why there is a library to manage that for you. So now let's take an example to work a bit on it. So a simple command. So hello world, there is a flag and a positional. How would I describe this command in CLAP? So I hope it's big enough so that you can see, but after I will show you in Pharo. So you instantiate a CLAP command spec, you give it an ID. This ID will be the name of the command you will use. You will see later. You give it a description. You specify the command class. Usually it is self. We will see that later. You have some facilities to add help very easily. You do not do anything else. Sorry. You can add a flag, short, with a description. Then we add a positional that we call who. And this positional, we set it a description. We are saying that we can have many times the same positionals. We can say hello to many people. And it has a default value. So it means this positional, we can have many or no positional at all, and there will be a default value. So, a typical clap command class. On class side, just before that, the class definition. Your clap command should inherit from clap application. On class side, you need to define a command method, that will return the command specification, the one that we just showed before. If your command is the root command, I mean the top command that you will invoke from command line, then you need an annotation, pragma command line. Also, in the specification, you need to specify the command class. That it was self. This is because here the specification is independent of the command you will get. So very often you use the same class. It could be a different one. So that's why you need to say that most of the time it is self. And this instance of the command class will be returned by clap context command. But it's kind of a technical detail. Okay. Now, let's go to our command class, but instance side. It will be the command that will be instantiated by the context after the parsing. So your class must define an execute method. So it can be a simple thing like just, okay, say hello. There you will also define some accessors for flags and positionals. They are quite easy because you inherit from the clap application, so you have some methods already available. To ask for a positional, you just give it the ID, and you will get back the value of this positional. For a flag, there is a method asFlag that will return you true or false, depending if the ID is found on the command line. Okay. For the command class, it's almost all you need. Now, from far side, you already have a small command ready to invoke. So from your console now, what you need is just to create a small script that will wrap the call of the Faro virtual machine on the image. So you do not need to remember all of that. There is here it's a bash script, so you have the shebang, and after some magic to find the real path of the script. It's useful when you want to have a generic script you give to your users, but it's not important for clap. So here what we do, we start the Faro virtual machine in headless mode so that the UI does not pop up. We specify the image, and we want to run the image without preferences. And at the end, we just call the clap command line handler. And after that, the first parameter will be the command ID you want to run. So here it's put my app, but if I take the hello example, it will be what you put in the clap command spec ID. So it will be hello. Okay. Once it is done, you can use it on the command line. For example, you ask for the help because you don't know how to use the command. And by default, it will produce a nice output like that from the description of the command. Then you can call hello without parameters. You will get the default value, hello world. And at the end, you can call hello ESUG. It will output hello ESUG. Okay. It's easy. So to have an overview, here is the clap flow. At the top left, you have a command that may have other commands, subcommands, may have positional, flags, flags with positional, and all that will form the specification. It's kind of the grammar of the command. Here, when you tap on your console, you will have a command line. It's just a collection of words. You put all that together. There is a parsing phase, and it will give you what we call in clap an activation. It's kind of a syntax tree of the command, and you get it from the clap context. So the activation is the clap context. From this context, you will get an instance of your command where you can do some validations. And this command will also use your application domain to actually do something or give feedback to the user if the command he wrote is not good. Okay. So maybe you already got that, but in clap we have two kinds of commands. There is a root command. It's the top level command. This one must be defined with a pragma command line, and it is callable directly from the command line. Subcommands, they are only callable from its parent command. I cannot directly from the command line get a subcommand. And a subcommand may have other subcommands. I will show you that. Yes, I will do a small demo of this application. Let's do that. Okay. So first, I will create the hello command. Let's do that. So I have my ESUG hello command that inherits from clap application. So for now, I have nothing else. Okay. I will create the specification. So here, I'm on command class. You can give the name you want for this method. It's a top level command, so it has a pragma. Here, I instantiate a clap command spec. I give it some ID. So it will be, I don't know, for this example, hello. You can give it some description, do some greetings. The command class will be this class I'm currently using. I can add help, and that's all. For now, so it's really the smallest thing you can do for specifying a command. Now I will just show you the full command description. Sorry, should have. So the full command description, it is this one. So I have my command. I put another name, but it's okay. Provide greetings. I have my flag shout and a positional who. A description. It's multiple. Okay. So I have my command spec. So after that, I can define the command behavior. I will just create some accessors for flags and positional. You see, it's shouting. It is just returning self as flag shout. The recipients of the command, it's just getting the positional who. After, I will create the execute method. So here I will just do say hello on So outstream, okay. Outstream, I not yet have it. What is it? Up. I just need to create an instance variable for that, and I just wrap it with some class that provides facility to write on the console, and I get the standard output from the clap context. Self context here gives you a way to access the clap context. After, I can implement say hello on. Okay, so what I do there is just for all recipients, I will send the message hello, just that. And the last one, I will implement the voice message, and here I'm just checking if the flag shout is there, and if so, I will put the string in uppercase. Else, it's just a string. Okay? And I have my command. I now just need to run this command. I will do that. Okay, so if I do help, sorry, probably I miss something. Okay, so I will not take time for that. I got a problem on image with an obsolete class that is still there because I repeated the example, and I have already a command with the same ID, so it crashed. But just trust me, it is working. You can invoke from command line. Okay, let's go back. So now you know almost everything about clap. I will just give you some advice to create a command line application. So one advice should be to split the command line logic from your business logic. So the command line should be really tiny, small, and just do some calls to your business logic to with the maintenance and the reusability. You should offer a clear help. For that, the default utility add help on clap is really useful. You just need to add a good description to your command and flags and so on. A clear explanation when an error occurs, so that your user understands what goes wrong. And also a well-thought API, you need to think about it just like a web service. When you are defining a REST API, you need to think how to well design it. It's the same thing for the command line. For example, for your command line, you could use a flat structure. The curl command, for example, has a flat structure. You have my command init, my command build, my command deploy. You could also use a hierarchical structure. For example, well-known tool for launcher command line, use it. So my command, user add. My command, user delete. My command, config set. So you could use both. It really depends on what you need. When do you need to choose a positional versus a flag? Positionals, you use it when it is mandatory and unambiguous. For example, my command, rename, old file, new file. So you know, you are used to that. The use flag when with a positional, when it is optional and it has a default value. For example, my command convert file could be just that. And if you need something else, you specify _ format PDF. So the output, by default, should be verbose and human readable. You could add some JSON flag or whatever to use the command from scripts. But the default should be for human. And don't forget to exit with the right return code. If it is a success, it should be 0. If you have an error, it should be 1 or more. Okay. So that's all for me. If you have some questions, I put, no, it's not the link. I forgot to put the clear code, but it's on GitHub. Under the Faro contribution umbrella, there is a clap project, but clap is already included into the Faro image, so you can use it directly. So thank you.
Thank you, Christophe. Questions? Yes.
I think this is very useful. The thing that I'm missing, perhaps just because I can't see it, is you're calling it from outside and get in there. But very often the thing I would like to do is to call back to get some information from one of the existing ones, do something with that, call out again. So I'll write some code in some Faro that do not make it as hard to remember the stupid syntax of the outer one. So if normally I will have to make a loop that will call blah, 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 but I would like actually to bind that into Smalltalk, Faro. So is it possible to do that, and is it well structured, the combination?
If I understand, you have many commands that you want to run, and you want to kind of pipe these commands. With clap, what you can do is to provide some nice output so that you can script that very easily. But it's not intended to, at least the clap library, to do some piping between commands. For that, yes, we do not yet have support. Could be, but yes.
Thank you, Christophe. That was very clear. I have two little questions. One, this is, you didn't show, but I guess that it's possible that we want to try the clap command from within Faro. So how we can simulate
Yes.
the execution of the command line command on the command line, but from within Faro. And the other one is the test.
Yes. So I have that. For example, what you can do if you want to test your command from within Faro. So here it's my command class. Should be there. Yes. Okay. I have. Yes, I forgot this one. So with that, you have an instance of a clap command spec. It is your command specification. You can send it the message activation with and a collection of words. It's your command line. And with that, you get a context. So you see the context is there. You have the command syntax tree in the match that is there. From there, you can ask the command. So you have an instance of your command. And for example, here, you can ask as flag help. It's true. Okay. So you already have your commands there, and you can also execute from here. So if I execute that, I can just after inspect my context. I have the standard input-output there, and if I check the output, I need to UTF-8 decode that, and I will get the help. Okay. And you use this kind of things in test for testing the clap command. And firewall launcher, command line is using clap, and every command is tested like that.
Wait, but for the test. So let's say that your command writes to a database. Let's say that you have a command that writes to a database. Can I set a different database before the execution of the command, like control the setup of the test? Like, I don't know, mock the database or whatever. Because otherwise you are going to global states or hard-coded stuff.
I had kind of this kind of scenario with firewall launcher. For example, it's not a database. It was, for example, there is an image repository that is on the file system. It's kind of database. So what I do for this kind of testing is that I created a new context for that to inject a repository that is in memory. So for a database, it should be the same. You could use the context to inject some things. So depending on the test case.
In the examples I show were in the playground.
Yes.
Where would it be?
It's not there. It's in the test setup. For example, in firewall launcher, in the setup, I use a specific context for that to inject what I need.